what's poppin', TikToky, Facebook, Meta, IG, wherever you watching this. It's your boy KeeSounds. Like, hopefully y'all doing good today. You feel me? I got my notes ready. Got my little caffeine. So we finna have a good time, all right? And this is producer mindset part 2. All right, now let me get comfortable with y'all. Let me take off the bag real quick. Let me take off the shades too, because it's beautiful out, and I wanna get that vitamin D. You feel me? So and I'm sweating a little bit because it's hot. It's like one of the first actually nice days we got out here in Massachusetts, where I'm from. And let me dive into my notes real quick. And shout out produced by Kavi, because that's basically where I'm getting a lot of my information from. And this is part 2. All right, y'all. So let's get it going. Producer mindset. You know, we did our greeting, so we got that checked off. Today we're gonna talk about the mindset of a producer, like the positive and the negative. And like right now, I'm like, I'm gelling, I'm cool. I got the Crocs on, you know. For all my cholas that make beats, I got the high socks. Like we chilling, like it's nice out. We by the water, like y'all see the view. You feel me? I just want to switch up the frequency. Also the audio. You can hear the waterfall in the background, so that should like help with how can I say, with the frequency of everything. Like got some wildlife going around, all that bugs, everything. So it's a positive time and frequency right now. So that's why I'm welcoming y'all in, and that's why we're shooting. Let me back up. That's why we're shooting today, outside live, because it's like you just want to get out the studio sometimes, and it's good to be outside of the studio sometimes. You don't want to always be cooped up in the room, always cooped up in the studio wherever you make beats. You could be sitting down in the cafeteria at your college. You feel me? Sometimes it's good to make beats other places. So let's get into that. So when you're negative, you really don't get the results that you're looking for, and you don't get many good results when you're negative, coming when it has to do with your mindset as a producer. So it's like you're better off being positive, just all around. You're better off thinking positive, looking positive, eating positive. Um, you're gonna get better results. Um, Whether it comes to just networking, like shaking hands still, handing out business cards, or maybe you got a dot card. Maybe you use a digital business card. Have fun. Um, Make sure you set up all your appropriate links. If you're using that business card, the physical one, make sure it looks kind of lively. Like it looks like okay, maybe I should take that card. It has like a little logo on it, maybe like your catchphrase on it on there. So people, when they see it, they're like, okay, let me take this card. Like they're serious. I take them serious. Um, Also, it's like even with your body, it's good to work out as a producer, because there's certain music producers out there. You seen them, they were fat before, and then they lost weight and they got in shape. You know, but what really matters the most is like your music. Because you could lose weight and be in better shape, but your beats are trash. Like, so make sure like if your beats are fire, and that's why I'm speaking to y'all right now. If your beats are fire, you got fire loop kits and drum kits and fire beats on your store, all that. You know, you want to look fire too. You want your business and brand to look how you look. You feel me? So make sure you're taking care of yourself. All right. Um, Also, it's like you want to take and post pictures of like when it comes to like your Instagram, which is like it's part of the networking, because that's kind of where people go to before they even enter your beat store. They just want to hear snippets and stuff. So it's like before you even like start really like making physical connections, people are gonna just go to your Instagram. So it's like, and produced by Kavi was saying, like, instead of just having it all black screen um, photos, I mean, all black screen videos with, your music audio. Why not have some pictures? Even this right here, like, why not have some content to post? You feel me? So, you want to make sure you're posting pictures of like current things and up to date things, like pictures of yourself, maybe in the studio, you standing next to your artist, maybe even your cover art of things that are about to drop or have dropped, so people can go to these pictures and go to the link and be like, oh, okay, let me look for that too. Let me listen to that album, that EP, all right, or that single, whatever it is, all right. But for other producers too, maybe you just drop beat tapes in your own album. So like that how DJ Khaled does it. He has selective records for selective artists, and he makes his whole album, like even stuff like that. All right, so make sure you're really like understanding how to network and leverage your Instagram. All right, so one of the biggest things I want to talk about is being a student. So when it comes to having a positive mindset, you could rant and talk about how no one supports you and this and that. And it's real. Like sometimes you don't always get the support that you don't always get the support you want. You got to work hard for all these things. You got to work hard for the streams, the plays, the views, the engagements, and a lot of times you're doing stuff before you even like post it. You made that beat before you even posted it. You stayed up late all night making that loop before you even posted it. So it's like, make sure you're positive about yourself, and positive about your engagements. Like, be grateful for the support. Make sure you're saying, hey, I appreciate you. I appreciate you for sharing, for posting that to your story, for reposting, whatever it is, for engaging, just leaving a comment. All right. And with that being said, be a student. Like, if you're not the best loop maker, watch some tutorials, learn how to make some loops. If you don't have any drum kits out right now and you're like, man, I don't know how to make 808s. I want to release a drum kit, but I just don't know how to make 808s. Got to watch some tutorials, bro. Sis, you got to watch some tutorials. You got to figure out how to do these things so you can put these things up in your beat store, where you sell your sound kits. And you want to be able to do that as a producer. You want to be able to make loops, starters, presets, whatever it might be, hi-hats, claps, snares, how can I say, textures, any type of loops, samples, original sounding samples. So you want to make all these things and with the right mindset. Like, okay, I know I need that, so let me go work on that rather than complain about it, and also, how can we say, like, that's kind of how you win. Like, you're not beating yourself up, and you're not rushing to just like put out anything. Like, dang, so and so put out a loop kit. Let me go put out a loop kit. Nah, man, like, take your time. Like, like, this is how you win. You take your time. You sit down, take some time off from other things, like, and you just make what you need. Some of you guys are like, oh, I just make beats up, as I go, so I'm straight, and that's fine. That's perfect. But what you might need to do is put some of this content in a teachable form into tutorials out. You feel me? So you could just start by making a YouTube and just little by little, just making your content. But before you even do that, you got to make a YouTube. You got 30, 40 beats. Why don't you make a beat store? It's about time. So we covered like making kits, like, and there's all different types of kits. Like I was saying, you can have presets. Like, let's say they have a plug, or is it a VST or plugin? They have a plugin called Effectrix. Right? And you can make presets for Effectrix if you own it, right? And pretty much, this is what's cool too about FL Studio. Even if you don't even own that that plugin or VST, you can still make some presets. A lot of these plugins and VSTs are like, they're very up to date. So make some presets, start selling them. If you don't even own it and you can't afford that VST or plugin, try to find something that's like the alternative to it. You can't afford Nexus, download Vital. You can't you don't have Serum, download Vital. Like, there's like other wave tables that you can make beats and stuff on, and make loops and stuff on. I'm trying to watch the camera, making sure it's not gonna fall over. So make sure like you're actually aware of like the alternatives of things out there to the tools that you want to use. Because like you might not be able to afford this or that, but you can afford that free version. So download that free version, start making some presets, and then not only that, it could be loops or whatever it is, but you want to make sure that you're making you're filling up your inventory as a producer in your beat store with your sound kits, because there's a lot of stuff that you can make. There's one shots. How can I say this? There's 808 snares, claps, hi-hats, open hats. Some of these things, people will sell the MIDI of it. So you have MIDI hi-hats, MIDI 808, so it's like, and you can separate all of that. So you can have, just snares, just claps, just 808s, just hi-hats. Then you got MIDI 808s, MIDI snare, MIDI hi-hat, right? And then you could separate all that, and then you can encompass it into one like superior kit. And that's basically what I'm doing right now with KeeSounds Sauce Pack 2. We got 808s, hi-hats, claps, snares, open hats. We got loops, presets we got in there. This kit's gonna have a lot of stuff, and then we have a whole MIDI section of everything I just said. So it's like, I wanted to make a drum kit and a sound kit and a MIDI toolkit all in the same. I was tired of just kind of like always promoting the same like kind of lesser kit. So it's like at one point in time you got to kind of think and strategize. So you got to think like, how can you separate yourself? And a lot of times you can separate yourself by just having faith. Just believing in yourself with whatever you're doing, and like some of you guys, whatever faith you believe in, it could be a Jewish, or I think it's like, what is it, Judaism, but like or Christian, if you're Islamic, if you're Buddhist, it really doesn't matter as long as you have faith. You understand? Like as long as you have faith in what you believe in, you're gonna do great. You're gonna do great. And when you have faith, it's a different frequency when you create. It's a different frequency when you upload and when you post, rather than when you post it and you're kind of just like, I guess this might work, So what you want to do is have faith, have faith in yourself and really, really believe in yourself. That's what's going to separate yourself from the rest of the crowd. You feel me? So make sure you have faith in everything you do, really. So when it comes to selling yourself, catching placements, wherever it may be, like selling beats, you can sell beats in many different ways. Like people can repost your post onto their story. You can post your old beats onto your story. You can create a beat tape, and you don't really promote every single track, but you're like, hey guys, I got some newer beats that no one's heard. So make sure you listen to my album that's out right now. So people are gonna go to your album, they're gonna listen to that, and then they're gonna be like, oh, I want this beat. You feel me? I placed a couple of beats like that, like just releasing a beat tape and then putting it out and tagging people, like, or messaging it to people like, hey, like, yo, like, here's my beat tape, here's the link. Let me know what you think of these beats, man. Like I just got done with them. I think they're alright. Like they're probably fire, but sometimes you're not as confident. So you're like, I think they're alright, but let me know what you think, So definitely like post your stuff onto your stories, post it to wherever you want to post it to, but share it to these people who you think are of value. These singers, these rappers, like it can even be people who do poetry. Like, they want to beat in the background, but they don't really want to rap. Feel me? So you gotta think about that. So you can catch placements just by like, and this is really from Produced by Kavi. He was saying like, let's say you want a placement from a major artist like, Little Baby, whoever, but you don't know anybody And his like, you don't know little baby when you send stuff to him, he never replies. You're left on scene. This been going on for 2 years. He's like, start a little lower. Start with like somebody in his camp that you might know. Start with like a loop maker or something like that, or maybe somebody who sends loops to somebody who is a music producer. You can literally send them loops and split the credits. Like, hey, I'll go 50-50 if we get something placed. Like, so like if you get this loop placed, I'm not gonna take 100% credit of making that loop. You could just slap your name on there, and it's like me and you made that loop. So make sure you guys are just kind of like trying all the different types of outlets that you can. So you want to make sure you're reaching out to people, of course. But when you hit that wall, like a dead end, you want to make sure you kind of, bust the UE. Like, all right, maybe I went too far. I went the wrong direction. So you bust that UE, and then you come back and you think like, okay, so who in his camp do it, that I know knows somebody in his camp, like, and that's what you call like a mutual follow. Like you might know somebody who has a mutual follow. So like, and they just haven't followed you yet. But you can get placements like that because it's not just all about sending beats directly to the artist, and that does work. But you might be able to get the mutual following. So you'd be like, all right, let me send this beat to the loop maker or whoever, and that doesn't work, right? But just because you follow or somebody else follows you, now all these other people follows you. You feel me? And now you're like, dang, bro, like I didn't know that like so-and-so was gonna, like this industry producer was gonna follow me back. Of course they followed you back. You got fire beats. You're leveraging your Instagram page. So they're like, okay, they clicked a couple links. Things sound okay. They sound good. They sound fire. And then it's like with that, so-and-so follows you. So they're just like, yeah, I'm definitely gonna follow them back now. And then you get that notification. So it's like everything kind of works with each other, like, so be intentional with all these things, like be intentional with your brand, with your beat store name, like your links, the name of your links. Be intentional, and really like have that attitude, like I'm gonna win. I'm gonna get a placement. All right. So it's not just about sending beats directly to the artist. Sometimes it might be someone under them, or it might be a friend. And Produced by Coffee was saying, like, like you might know somebody who likes graphic tees, like, and you're like, yo, I know where to get these graphic tees. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. Like, I never thought about that. Like, like somebody just like having something in common with you, like something simple as, oh, wow, like, I live in the area and, there's this thrift store. I don't know if you check them out, but it's fire, bro. Like, they got the hardest tees. Like, they got, I don't know, you guys remember like the t-shirts with the cats on it, or like they got like a wolf on it or something like that. And let's say this guy, this woman, they like that. This person, they like t-shirts like that. And they're like, okay, thank you. Now you're in the door. Now you're in the door. So, just keep it positive. And you never know where you're gonna land really with some of this stuff. So you want to make sure you're engaging. You want to make sure you're posting everywhere. You're posting on your store. You're giving away some stuff, and you're selling it too. You want to engage, and you yourself want to engage for a certain time as well. You just don't want to hop on the app, post, and then leave. You want to make sure like the people who are liking your stuff, you like their stuff too. Like you like their stuff, you react, you got to spend a certain time on these applications and show love. So set like a certain day to just sit down and really just like give love, show love, like, or just pay attention and take notes, because there's a lot of gems on Instagram, especially. You could literally be on Instagram for hours just learning, so take your time with that. And a lot of these things, like, you want to make sure like you're not really giving out your best work for free. Some things that, I think last year I spent like maybe like 8 months making a loop kit. and a MIDI kit. And a lot of the stuff a lot of the loops that were in there were for free. And I'm still selling that kit right now. Like you can go to my beat store right now, like in the description. I'll probably put it in the description later. But like you can go to my beat store right now, and I got some fire loops. And you know, it's free. It's royalty free. Now, that's cool to do that like once or twice, but don't make that your whole like brand. You want to be able to, when you put out these loops, you know, you want to be able to get some credit from that, because people or companies and other brands are going to take your loops and they're going to sell them. They're going to sell them. So you're giving away for free your straight sauce. They're going to sell them. They're going to put their brand on it, their sticker on it, and they just made like $50, you know. Got a butterfly flying around. It's pretty cool. So it's like you got to know your worth, know your value. All right. So it's not all about just sending loops. Sometimes, you know, to get a placement, you can send like a project to the FLP for Fruity Loop users. You can send out some FLPs and be like, yo, flip this. And, you know, like people would take their time. Like, all right, it could be a year or two. Nothing happens. And next thing you know, they're like, yo, we got one. And you're like, oh, snap. Word. Like, you know, like we got one with whoever. We got one with Future. Like, dang, bro, we actually got a placement with Future. It's like, yeah, we try hard, we working hard. So really, like, you know, stay positive, you know? Stay positive. So we went over the mutual follows and stuff like that. But yeah, just clean up your Instagram basically. Maybe just put a couple pictures up. Maybe put like make your Instagram, your feed look presentable and professional. And then, like, you know, all those like videos where, like, you know, maybe you got like the text over it and like you're dancing or whatever, you know, making like, maybe you're making jokes. It's like a skit, but you like, you know, your beats playing in the background. Just like put that in the reels, but remove that from your regular page, like your post page. Like, so basically, like, simplify your page and try to solidify how professional it is as a producer. Like, okay, these are my placements. These are my current projects. Here's some snippets. And then everything else, you can leave that in the reels. You want to remove certain stuff from off of your front page of your Instagram profile. And other than that, you know, make sure your music is fire. Whether it be the loops, the kits, or the beats. Just make sure it's all fire. Like, it's ready to go. All right, because like that's gonna it's gonna solidify somebody buying your product, and at the same time, it's gonna solidify, you know, you getting a placement, making sure your page looks professional, so you can leverage your Instagram page, and, you know, leverage your mutual follows. You know, you want to make sure that you're handling business when you're on these applications. You're not just like messing around. All right. And that's basically it, you guys. Like, we didn't do too much of the negative stuff because, you know, I feel like that's easy. I want to do like really like a lot. I want to talk really a lot about the positive aspects, everything. But like the negative things is kind of just like, you know, making beats in like the same like dirty hoodie, you know. And I ain't talking about, you know, you just wearing your beat maker hoodie and making content. I'm talking about like, you literally got like a ketchup stain or mustard stain right here, and, you know, it's like for 10 videos. For 10 videos, it's like the same dirty hoodie. Like, you know, so make sure that, you know, you're actually getting up and you're showering and moving around. You know, negative, it's not just about mindset either. Sometimes your computer chair or lack of a gaming chair, you feel me, is killing your productivity. And here's a great one. You know, some days you don't want to make beats. Some days you just want to make loops, you know, one shots. Maybe you just want to make 808s. That's fine. You don't got to make beats every day. Like today, I did not make a beat. I came out here and I'm shooting content. You feel me? So some days it's good to just like take a step back and really just create. You feel me? In a different form. All right? Because like you could burn yourself out. So like, let's say you want to go out on, let's say you want to cook up on live. I haven't cooked up on live in like a couple months, I think. So what you want to do is literally like, you can set it up. You can make like 20 loops, and before you even go cook up, you could make a cover art, and now you got a loop kit. All right, you got a beat store. You can upload it and be like, yo, you guys, I'm using my new loop kit right now. All right. Then what you do is you send it out to like your favorite producers. Like, yo, my fault, bro. I know we supposed to collab like last year. It's been a year, but I just been working. But here's my new loop kit for free. You don't gotta buy it. But here's my new loop kit. Cook up. You're gonna be like, oh, good looks. You're gonna be like, thank you. Like, you feel me? Now, when you go to make some beats, it's no samples for one. So you got all that credit for two. And then it's like, you can just cook up. You don't have to worry about like how you're gonna go about the beat and stuff like that. Cause like you kind of already heard all these loops, and you kind of probably already have an idea how you're gonna make these beats. So definitely like, separate it. Like some days make beats, take some time off, then make some loops, make some one shots, and other stuff too. Like play your game. Like if you got a video game system, you're a heavy sniper or something, bro, go get some, go play the game, bro. Like since go play the game. Like if you're on TikTok and you stream this and stream that, like go do that. You got a whole nother account, go do that. Go take some time off. Like it's not gonna kill your brand, none of that stuff, right? And another thing too is like how can I say, like don't let artists let you know how a beat should sound. Like if you're like, yo, I feel like this beat could be better, like remix that down, mix and master it, get out of there. You feel me? You don't want people to think like, man, this beat's fine, but they're not a producer. They just they sing, they just rap, or they sing and they rap, but they don't really sit down and make beats. They don't have studio monitors and the audio interface. All right, so it's like, make sure you're aware of these type of people, like of their ear, and then that's how you kind of can know your ear as well. So you guys, it's like with all those tips for this year, for this summer, I'm gonna try to put this video at the top of my YouTube channel, but that is Producer Mindset 2. All right, so make sure you guys stay positive out there. And make sure you guys take your time when you're making these beats. And above all that, all right, get your rest and have fun, all right? Because remember the Turtle Hermit way, all right? It's like you train, what is it? You study and train well, and you eat and sleep plenty. You feel me? You study hard, you work hard, and you eat and sleep plenty, all right? So remember that. In the words of great Master Roshi, you feel me? The one with the strongest command wave, y'all. Y'all have a good one. KeeSounds. Yes, sir.